Just when I think the world is might have a little bit of hope in it, somebody does something stupid, says something stupid. And in this case, it's Kristi Yamaguchi. Now, for those of you who don't know, she was a figure skater, American figure skater. She won Olympic gold, and she's touted as one of the greatest female figure skaters, if not one of the greatest figure skaters of all time. Well, she told a story, and the way that she told it was when in 1988 she was doing a competition. It was a world competition. The organizers thought that she was Japanese and were trying to put up the Japanese team because, and she thinks it's racist, that it was racist of them. There goes that R word again. But she thinks it's racist. Now, mind you, racism is hatred or intolerance of someone or discrimination of someone because of their race. That's it. What happened was a mistake. And you know what she did? All she said was, can somebody tell them I'm American? And the problem was solved. So there were no marches, there were no protests, any of that. Just a simple mistake. Because her last name is Yamaguchi and because, she looks Japanese, she looked even more Japanese back then. Yes, it is possible to look more of a certain type of race the older you get. It is very possible because your facial features change. Shut up. Point is, 30 years later, she decides to make this bold, stupid statement, which totally destroys even further the impact that the word racism and racists have, or used to have. Because when you call everything racist, nothing becomes racist. When you falsely accuse someone of being racist so many times, it loses its power, and the person you're calling racist is no longer a racist, you're just an idiot. But, of course, whenever a celebrity decides that they are no longer relevant or they want fame and they want some sort of a notoriety, what do? Especially if they are a woman or a person of color. They talk about some sort of supposed discrimination. Now, whether the discrimination happened or not is one thing or another thing. It is quite possible that someone could 30 years ago have been discriminated against because she was a woman and it happened. Which, why you waited 30 years is beyond me, but whatever. But yes, this incident happened 30 years ago. But Kristi, here's the thing, sweetheart. It wasn't racism. It was a simple mistake. Okay, let me tell you, if I go to England, somebody might think I'm English if I don't speak with my American accent because I'm around a bunch of white people. I go to Ireland, might be the same thing. Alright, but the way you're doing this is you're taking 30 years ago and you're trying to platform yourself and be Jussie Smollett today. Well, except for the fact that Jussie Smollett lied. I mean, that's the equivalent of Morgan Freeman going, when I was born, the doctor slapped me in my behind and he was a white man. He's racist. I can't do Morgan Freeman, but that's the thing. Morgan Freeman would never say that. He's actually classy, unlike you. And he understands what racism is, and he understands how not to be a self-made victim like you. But that's the point. You taking something that happened in the past that really has no consequence or no undertones or even evidence of actual racism and making it into racism, you are destroying the very fabric of what racism really is, and you're taking the power away from it, and all because you want to be notarized. You want to be noticed. You want to be put in the same vein as these other victims. Which, to be honest with you, God, shame on you, Kristi. For all of this, for all of the hate that Asian people have been seeing because of COVID, you're going to put yourself in the same type of victimization as them? Dude, seriously? Read between the lines. You're a terrible person for that. And I don't care how great you were of a figure skater, you are a shit person. You're a shit person. You don't deserve notoriety for being anything other than a hate mongerer And for someone who is just trying to cash in on the fact that she's Asian, someone made a mistake and you want to call it racist. You're cashing in on racism, the very thing that people have died because of, the very thing that got Emmett Till murdered, the very thing that got Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X to the places that they were and they died for. You're talking about it as if somebody was racist towards you when they weren't because they made a mistake. Screw you. Screw you. I wish they could take your medals away for such stupidity. Deuces.